Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxchair, on the show is the one and only Southside and the legend. That's the Bridgeman. Evening, boys.
Evening, Ox. Good to be on the night with a legend, like you said, Bridgeman. I'll give a shout out to the troops that are in the YouTube feed now. Thank them for joining us this evening, and say hello to everybody else out there that's going to listen to the show tonight.
Evening, Bridge.
Oh, evening, Ox, yeah. And a big shout out to Southside there and the techie boys in the background. I just say to all the Rangers fans listening all over the world, I'm hurt, I'm sore, I'm very sore. I don't know if I'll ever get over that. That just killed me the weekend. But anyway, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
I don't want to upset everybody, but we've always gives a football again. But it was a Sorian Bridge, you're right, Southside.
Oh.
Never seen it coming at half time. I said it last night. I thought we were in complete control without maybe making enough chances, if I'm honest. But the second half, mate, we were poor. Southside.
Well, it's been the players all season. Poor in halves. Either don't start well and have to rescue it in the second half, or they play well in the first half and then don't do it in the second half, and it's down to the players that goes on the park. It's them
You put your finger on it, Biggie. You put your finger on it.
There could be a million reasons what we could think, but no, not really. You look at the first half performance on Sunday. You look at Hearts had one shot at goal in the whole first half. We dominate the game, large percentages of the game, and then you come out and obviously you expect a wee reaction for Hearts. And listen, we've done it this season where we've been poor in the first half and had to come out and play better in the second half. But Hearts come out a wee bit more purpose, but didn't really change their shape. And we came out and just sort of let them dominate and run about and get in between the lines and go on the ball without putting many challenges in. And I just put it down to the players. They're the ones that are on the park. They're the ones that went off the first half and took the plaudits for a decent performance. And they're the ones that didn't start well in the second half.
Before I go to Bridge, name names, mate. Get it off your chest, mate. Lie down on that black couch. Get it off your chest. Do you want to do a special?
Listen, it's a sore one to take. Like, there was plenty of them that I thought weren't right. I just thought collectively, second half, there was a lot of them, mate, that were just miles off it.
Fair, mate, because it was a collective, you're right. There was moments when individuals let us down and didn't do right jobs, but collectively, that's fair. Bridgeman, your thoughts on it, mate?
Well, I think you can't go too much further than saying it was the players. It's got to be the players in it, you know. I thought first half we were excellent and they stood up to Hearts well when they had us under pressure a bit. Stood up to them good. Started winning tackles, which is absolutely massive for us. Winning first and second tackles, and then we didn't win a tackle the whole of the second half, and that kills us. I have to say, and I said it last week, I say it each time I'm on, I don't want to be overcritical, but Tavernier must go. We can't afford Tav to be on the pitch. He's taking all the throw-ins, he's taking all the free kicks and all the corners, and he's not getting the ball in. He's not getting the ball in. He's hardly finds anybody with a corner kick now. It's just terrible. It really is bad, you know. So I'm not blaming. I can't blame him on his own, but there's a few others. The second half performance was woeful. Well, midfield wasn't even in the park for me in the second half. Weren't even on the park. And the defence, well, what can you say? I can't believe that we lost 2 goals in the second half. I can't believe it. You're 1-0 up half time against the team that's playing the best football in the country at the moment, and we can't do it. We can't play football against them. We can't defend against them. It's just not right. It's just not right. Anybody listening to this programme must say that and must hear us saying the very same things virtually every week now. So we're a 45-minute team by the sound of it, and we better do something about it.
Cheers, mate. Can I ask you a question? Just something that came into my head today. Would we have been better if we were only winning at half time? In hindsight, was that the problem? We thought, well, that's the job done, I'll be sitting back. Am I being too simplistic? Southside.
I don't know if we sat back when we came out. Hearts obviously had to come out, and Paulie McInnes gave them a bit of a lecture at half time, and they've come out and just sort of go on the ball, and they looked braver on the ball, and they wanted the ball by the looks of it, and we've come out with that attitude that we sort of stood after them slightly and let them sort of go on the ball and do it. And it's players, it's down to players. Players have got to go with about man for man in the first half, and it should have been man to man in the second half. And yet we were saying, I mean, somebody runs by, I remember who it was, it may have been Spittle, I can't remember, but somebody runs by Sterling for the left for wide, and he's no stopping the ball coming in, it hits the post, and then we don't react. It's Scove Olsen and Tav between them. I believe Scove Olsen. Don't really blame Tav, if I'm honest. But between the two of them, the guy standing there, himself, should have been Olsen, should have been on him. Stupid thing, me, and then the second goal, the breeze by Olsen, doesn't he put the tackle in, doesn't he track back enough, and then when the ball comes across, Shanklin runs off his man, and you give him that sort of space and that. But he got punished. It was the reaction after that I looked at, and I looked at the players, and I think we do lack leaders, certain leaders in the team for going by, and other players where you'd have seen other players would have maybe galvanised a few. We've got a young squad together. Like, we've got players out there like Mikey Moore, who was young, and I don't think it was one of his better games. He sort of get caught up in that a wee bit to try to get us forward, but you can't rely on somebody at that age to do that. To me, he's young and all at 21, and we've got players out there. We have got a youngish squad, and we've got other players that should know a bit better, like Raskin and Diamondi, have been there a bit longer, should know the score along with our captain. But Butland, but we are where we are as with the players, and I keep saying it. I don't think the squad was good enough at the start of the season that Thelwell was trying to build to go on all four fronts. And listen, I think the damage was done early doors. I think Rowe has done a decent job. I think he's made a couple of mistakes, like all managers will throughout a season. But I don't think some of the criticism I've heard from, I think it's been a wee bit over the top, but everybody's entitled to their opinion, Ox. And no doubt people want to go back on the merry-go-round again, and there'll be the usual names bandied about who they think, our support think that we should get as a manager, and then the guy will make that decision. Will be Andrew Kavanagh and Gillespie. They'll decide whether we change manager or not.
Aye, listen, let's be really honest about it. There was no criticism of the manager who lost his last two games. We've scored 3 goals, which arguably would be, sometimes would have seen as half. We've defended atrociously, Bridgeman, atrociously for weeks now, and we've not reacted. So there's a bit of criticism at the manager and the players, because there's a lot of individual errors in there. I mean, Southside mentions Scove Olsen, another wee pop at the manager. Not that I'm saying that I couldn't understand. I said it last night, and I'll be interested to hear. I couldn't understand that selection. I never understood it before the game. I never understood it during the game. I never understood how he came back out in the second half. And I'm feeling even more to understand it now, Bridgeman. I'm not blaming that one individual for the second half performance. I thought he was atrocious in the first half when we dominated.
It was the weakest link. It was the weakest link, as far as I'm concerned. I think as Southside gives a good idea how the first goal went in. I would say, in all honesty, you could look if you take a wee shot of when that goal went in. and you look there, there's 7 Rangers players, 7, including the goalkeeper, 7 Rangers players, and no Heartsman near them, other than the guy that's taking the shot at goal, the first goal. Blair Spittle, wasn't it? So, what can you say? I don't even know if it was Blair Spittle in the triple, but, I just can't believe it. I just can't believe that nobody went out to look at him. Nobody had come into the midfielder come down to block him. Nothing, just nothing. Just let him have his shot. Bang, on the net. So we're our own worst enemy. That's the gospel truth. Our own worst enemy. And I don't understand why Scott Wilson was on the pitch. So I really don't. I would agree with South Side there and yourself, Fox, there, true. He's not a good player for us. He's not a good player for us.
No, he's not. He's put a couple of crosses in that there's been wonderful goals. He's created and done very little, but I also can't believe my rationale for no starting on Southside is, where's the match fitness meant to come from? I don't understand it. They go on about all this, you need to be this, you need to be that. Well, he's not played in about 7 weeks. I mean, he's a longer holiday than AK has.
I think there's different. I agree. He's no been playing off regular, and I thought he probably needed to get some more game time. And I thought, listen, when Scott Wilson's name was mentioned, there wasn't a Rangers fan out there that said, "Oh, we don't want him." Right? There was nobody. But I think there'd be very, very few. Everybody thought, "Wow, we're getting a hold of him. We've tried to get him before. He's decent pedigree, international, blah blah blah." But at the moment, he's not really worked out. And technically, he doesn't always give the ball away, but he's not exactly gone and committing the last defender.
Nothing, mate.
No, I know. But at the same time, he wasn't trying to go and take the last man on and that. And he's played a bit safe and whatnot. I get all that. But he's not been cutting the mustard. But why he started, or the reason he started, and after the first half, you couldn't really criticise many of the Rangers team that went out there in the first half and played, because we were in the game 1-0 up. We dominated most of the game for the bulk of the play, and Hearts hardly laid a finger on us. So technically, when they all came off the park at half time, you wouldn't have turned around and said, "Oh, I'm going to take him off because he's not been that good." Most of the players you probably expected to come back out in the second half. Other people may have different views, but we went in at half time. Hearts never laid a glove on us. So you expect that team to come back out and start the second half and carry on for how it finished the first half.
I go back to my minutes, mate. He's hardly played past 60 minutes.
Well, I think to start the season, Russell Martin set a pre-season out, and it doesn't matter what anybody says. They all say you must do your pre-season, and if you miss a pre-season, you struggle throughout the season to get back to the level of fitness. And we done a pre-season at the start of the season on a system with a manager that he thought would get us through. We'd be ball dominant, we would be dominating the ball, it'd be this and that. So he set us up in that way of fitness, I think, and whatever it was that he done with the squad. And then he goes out the door, and then a new manager comes in and he wants to play different. We might have to run harder, he might want to play a press when these players haven't been adapted to that. And I've heard many managers talking about it. I spoke to a couple of professional players there in the last number of weeks talking about them that play at different clubs, and they said, you set your stall out in pre-season and that sets your fitness up, and then you just tick along. But if you don't do the right pre-season, you'll play catch up, and if a different manager comes in, which has been happening to us, and then you try and play a different style of football, that's how you pick up injuries, and that's why things happen, and that's what they've told me. So I don't doubt it. They're professional football players, and I take their word for it. So I look at it as we've obviously went to play a different style under Danny Rowe, if what Russell Martin was wanting to play. And these players have they've done what they've done. Listen, he's got to tune out some of these players. Mikey Moore, who people didn't even want, were all saying, "No, he's a wee boy, he shouldn't have been in the team," blah, blah, blah. For a number of weeks, everybody was praising Mikey Moore. He was starting to get a tune out some of the players who were starting to come in and play well for him. That a lot of people criticised it throughout the start of the season, that some of these players bring me. I still believe that we need to change a lot of these players, because I don't think some have ran by their sell-by date at our club. Raskin and Diamandi are the two that I've always said it's time for they two to move on. The two of them need to go. And we've had Conor Barron in there, and all fair play to Conor Barron. He can do a job and whatever, but he's not a Rangers player. He's not the real Rangers class player. He's not a creative player. He's not the type of player we need. If you're going to play a holding midfielder, in my opinion, it's no Conor Barron. But he's been picked in with Bolton, and he's not had much of a chance either. But he's not, for me, that type of Rangers player. So there's a lot of changes we need to come.
When you look at the team, we'll start with the 11. You've got, if you like, it was a 4-4-3. You've got one of your centre backs on loan, and your two wide men are on loan. So forget about the goalkeeper, because that's another debate. So 30% of your team, the chances are they're not there next year. It started at the weekend. Yeah, and then you can throw in Aarons, Magoma. Have I missed anybody out? That's a 5, isn't it? So there's 5 players that walk away. We know that Tab's going to leave us at 6. And then whoever else goes out the door. To get the squad to the numbers being correct, Bridge, there's going to be a lot of work to do. All that stuff they know already. You're also going to have the people going out the door that you maybe don't like. And we mentioned a couple of names there, Diamandi and Raskin. Well, they might go. It might be time. I mean, what's Diamandi, 2.5 seasons with? Has he improved? It's up for debate. Raskin, Falkirk, excellent. Decent second half against Motherwell. Okay in the first half. Don't think he was my best midfielder, no. Okay in the first half on Sunday. Appalling in the second half. I don't know if I'm being too harsh, Bridge.
Yeah, like what you're saying is absolutely true. We've got to watch what we're doing. Obviously, the manager's going to do what the manager does to get the squad, or maintain or retain the squad, or buy some in. And I dare say the last thing is they will be buying people in, because we have to improve, we have to strengthen. We have to strengthen, obviously. No matter what we say, we've got to strengthen. There are a number of positions in there that we need strengthened with some reliability in it, and we need to get that done. We definitely need it. That Romans, there you are. Romans was injured, and we didn't have a left back that could do the work and be tough in the job, like Romans could be. Yeah, and that's what we didn't have. We didn't have the fullback, and we need to get that. I would say we need to get 2 fullbacks at a good level.
Minimum 2 fullbacks.
Yeah, I'm saying that minimum.
Minimum 2 to 3 centre halves, mate.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. End of the season with Suter and Fernandez as our only recognised centre halves at the club.
I hope to goodness our management aren't thinking that Suter is going to be our centre half. Surely not. Surely not.
I mean, when Pushes came to shop, when we've lost all these goals in the last 3 weeks, I know Suter's form was the great outside. He's only been on the park when we've been leaking goals. So what does that say what Danny Rowe thinks of John Suter?
Excuse me.
Suter had been poor, and
maybe it was getting, you'll never know, mate. You know what I mean?
Aye, there could be loads of reasons. I mean, he could have been a goal, he could have been a knock, he could be loads of things, but at the end of the day, he was out the team, and let's not be kidding. Giga and Fernandez had been doing not too bad. We went in a good wee run where we'd been Giga in the team, we weren't really conceding, and then lately we started to leak goals. But some of the goals that we've lost have been pretty poor, defending wise. And 1 or 2 has been sort of no bad goals built up, but they just scored decent goals against us, and sometimes you've got to put your hand up and say, oh, that was a decent goal. They worked that well, they opened us up and they scored a decent goal. But at the end of the day, Romans, I think, Fernandez and Suter are only going to be like the 3 players that we've actually got signed. Whether somebody comes in for Fernandez in the summer, if the money's decent, and they might want to go and try his luck in England, and they might go and we might get decent money, and it helps fund the rebuild. But it seems to be a rebuild. I think Nadiri in time, will probably be all right. I think Roman's coming in, added the quality. I think Chukwueze probably, once he settles down, maybe has somebody that can sit and play beside him and not so much Raskin. I think might become a better player. He's looked a bit dodgy at times, but I think going forward and at times, I think going forward with us next season, I think he might settle in and he might become a decent player. I think we're up to quality on the 3 players coming in for what we've had. And I think that's what we've got today. We've got to start to up the quality with players like Romans, who's come in other areas of the park. Scove Wilson, I thought would have been an upgrade, but unfortunately at the moment, he's not been good. And I don't think we're likely to take up.
I hope not, mate. I hope
no, I don't think we will. And then we'll use that money. I mean, as much as he's on loan now, I still think Finlay Curtis might have actually done a job. Gasmara, I think's raw. He's still young and he's still developing. Whether he stays or goes, we'll find out in the summer, because he's another one that attracts attention. But he's still young, he's raw and makes mistakes and that.
Would you be upset if he left, mate?
No, I wouldn't be. No, I don't get sentimental or any player. I want them to come in and play well and do well and be successful. But if they go and they go, they want to go or they go, then they go. I never really follow them after it. If they pop up in the telly or I see something about them, then I'll go, all right. But, I mean, some of the players have left me. Joe Aribo was a good player for his right. I don't even know where Aribo is. I can't even tell you what club he's at, but I don't hear about him. I don't read about him much. I don't see him anywhere coming up and saying, oh, he's doing well or he's been successful. He was a decent player. He grew with us under Steven Gerrard. But what's he doing now? What is he up to? Who is he at? Do you see him? Do you know where he plays every week? Does he get a game? I don't know. I don't care when they leave Rangers. I really don't care. But Gasmara will be the same. He's young, he's talented. He might go and have a good career. He might be better for us next season. He might grow if he's still here, and he might get better if he play him more regular. I don't know. Ant-Man was at the right age. I thought he'd have come back for his injury. He might have had more game time. But managers trust other players when they've been in for a lot longer than other ones that have been out injured, and some get a chance and some don't. Later on, and he's not really gave Ant-Man a chance really since he come back into the squad. He's been in squads, but he's hardly featured to come on, which he might have been maybe all right to have come on at the weekend. But he chose not to. He brought in Gasmara, and he's been a bit up and down when he's been on the park. A lot of times he's been decent, other times he's been poor. So, but he's a young boy, he's a young winger. Wingers all blow hot and cold ups, as you know, apart from Laudrup for 3 seasons.
Just to let you know, Joe Aribo's at Leicester on loan, mate, for Southampton.
Is he? Is that what he is? Is that what he is, Leicester? But they're getting relegated.
They get relegated. By the way, it's hard to believe he's 30 this year. He's catching up on me.
Aribo?
Right. He's catching up on you. He's catching up on me. I love it.
Listen, win, lose or draw the last 2 games, Bridgeman, there was going to have to be a lot of work done in the summer, and it's no easy, mate. Getting the right players in is no easy. I think Southside said it there, mate. Scott Wilson, I like to see players before I judge. I don't like to see what they've done in the past. He did come in with a pedigree, and from day one, he's never looked physical enough for our league. But if you sign 3 and get Big Stevie, mate, like if you get 2.5 out of 4, mate, for the piece, that's good. In the transfer window, that's good. You know, and we'll see what it takes us. If they 3 work out, 2 of them weren't fit at the weekend, and that's been luck, bad luck, whatever, just circumstances. But we have to get players who are more robust, and I think they've realised that we need more physical players, Bridget. I think that's the first time you've ever mentioned physicality, Bridget.
Excuse me. I believe that our midfield, that's the one thing most of the players in our midfield miss. And apart from, oh my God, I forgot these guys. The wee midfielder of ours, you know, the Belgian boy. Tell me his name, please. Raskin. God Almighty, I couldn't get it out there. Apart from him, he is quite tough, and he wins a lot of ball in the tackle. Gives a lot of free kicks away as well in the process. But however, he's tough. I think he's the only one I see is tough in the midfield. The rest are looking to be silky, passing, lovely passing, all that. we haven't got anybody in our team that can actually pass the ball properly. And when we're even under pressure, you lose the ball, we fall over it and things like that. So we need all that done, as you spoke about 10 minutes ago. Come the new season, the pre-season, we've got to have all the players that we want in there for pre-season training. They've got to get a pre-season training under a belt. Otherwise, as you said, to go through the whole season and they'll get to pick up stupid wee knocks, will do themselves, will pull hamstrings, all that, So we need to get players really, really fit in the summertime for a full season. And if we need to, we can cash in somebody at Christmas time or at New Year's time.
Yeah.
And
Listen, I take that on board. I understand that, and changing managers can give you a lift, a bounce, as they call it, south side, and then you flat. Look, up until 10 days ago, we were all full of positivity. Win more games, we fell flat in our face. We've lost 5 goals in 2 games, mate. So, and we've not played well over the 2 games. We've played well in spells, but we're lacking stuff. And I want your point. I mentioned it last night, the leadership group. Now look at that team that started on Saturday. The 3 leaders I would say on that part in our group would be Tavernier, who's leaving the club, the goalkeeper, who in the last few weeks I think's been, I've hinted at it, but I think he's looked very flat-footed and no moving his feet. I'm not saying he was at great fault for any of the goals at the weekend, but I still didn't think he had a good game. And Raskin, he's our guy in the midfield who's our orchestrator. And when we've had these 2 games and we've needed everybody to stand up, collectively, they've failed as well as they've failed to lead. And I think there's too much made in this so-called leadership group. Yeah? Butland, he's been okay for us. I don't even know if he'd been your top 10 Rangers goalies south side, would he? He wouldn't be your top half a dozen anyway.
Nah, I said that before. He's not for me. He said he was decent in Europe, obviously, start of the season. There's not a lot of games where he was decent, but he's prone to umpteen mistakes throughout a season. You look at the goal Shanklin scored against him the last time at Tynecastle. It was enough. And he's had a few early the season. It's probably not the only culprit, but I still think we've got a sort of youngish mid-centre backs and all, and it's a lot of mixed mash. Raskin should lead. Diamondi, when he's on the park, should be another man that knows what the club's about and been here for long enough and should know to be able to drive the team and help others out. But I think throughout the team we have got younger players, and Magoma wasn't in the team and he played Sterling at left back, which if I look back when I seen it, I thought, really? I thought I'd rather have played Sterling at right back and probably played Magoma at left back, but he chose to go that way, and that's the manager's decision. Sterling wasn't great against Motherwell a week before. So maybe he thought I'll play him at left back and I'll bring Tav back in, but I think Tav probably. I think that annoys me with Tav, the fact he came out and said what he said in his Instagram without running it by the club. And I think when we had an important game coming up against Motherwell, that's something that should have been kept in the back burner. And I don't think that helped either. We're going into a pivotal part of the season against Motherwell, who, by all accounts, played well against us at Ibrox. But again, we didn't turn up in the first half, and we were too narrow, and they played out wide against us, which might have been the set-up for the manager because we'd played the box some 10 times that had been successful. But Motherwell managed to play around us, and then obviously second half, I thought we had a chance. So, and then we carry on to Hearts, where you're looking to know how Hearts are going to play. And I just think we give away sloppy goals and we turn up and play one half, the same as we did against Motherwell. And for me, that's the players. There's no way the manager goes out and tells the players to play a certain way. That it's down to them, attitude, application, running after the ball, going to help each other, looking for the ball, being brave on the ball. And I think some of our players certainly haven't been. I think when you've got a World Cup coming up and all, I think players might be going there. And I'll name Raskin as one. Might know why to go into a certain tackle or two. And we'll see how he plays now. When there's nothing to play for. And see what his attitude's like, because he'll know why to get injured. He wants to go to the World Cup. And we've got another few players that will be going to the World Cup as well, who might not want to get injured. They want to go there and play a pinnacle of your career in it, to go to the World Cup and play. So we'll see how their attitude goes forward. And it's all right saying, Bridge, we need to get players in midday, but like you say, when you've got a World Cup coming up, it's going to be hard to maybe attract some players that you might want. Some might be away in international duty, there might be others that will only be. But I don't think it's a great sort of time when you've got a World Cup on to try and build a team and get at least a dozen players in the squad, because I think that's what we'll need to do. We need to get at least a dozen players up.
I think a lot of that work will be done already, mate. You know, there might not be anybody signed, but there'll be a lot of that work done already. There'll be, you know.
Well, that depends. If they're keeping Danny Rowe and he's got a say, aye. But if they're thinking of changing the manager, then a lot of the work might not be done. We don't have a director of football. We've chosen not to go down that road. So, you know, it's all right.
You've got to say that, you know, you know that X is going out the door, so that position, that squad player, that first team player, whatever way you want to look at it, that's got to be filled. So you've known that. You'll have your budget, you'll have a lot of your budget will be planned, and then it'll all be obviously changes if there's, depending how successful you are in the league and where you end up. But obviously it also changes if people go out the door with hefty transfer fees. That can improve your budget. So it's watch your space, but a lot of the work should be constantly be done. I'm not saying you leave everything in the last minute, Bridge. You've got to be looking, doing your homework, see who's available, see whose contract's up, see who would be interested. I think a lot of the conversations for all clubs take place already before any window opens. I mean, there might not be any approaches, but there's a lot of shadow boxing.
Absolutely, yeah. And there will be approaches. There will be subtle approaches.
Never happen,
I know. But no, seriously, you're absolutely right. It's an ongoing cycle, you know. But the start of it all is the summertime, and you get everybody fit, get their holidays out of the way, and get them through the pre-season training, which every football player in the world hates. They hate the pre-season training if they do it. You know, they hate the pre-season training because it kills them, and it takes them a longer time every season to get fit again. You know, every time. So maybe get fit again, a wee bit fit in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then before you know it, they're no problem at all. They're away running, and that's what you need. You need to get all that fitness in, get all the deadness out of the legs, and get on with it. And yet, what can I say? We do. I agree with you. We'll end up bringing in. I wouldn't go so far as 12 players, but we might need 12. But I would imagine we'll bring in about maybe 8 or 9 players into the team.
We're short this now, Bridge, and we've got
absolutely
3 defenders going out the door who are on loan. We've got 2 white men going out the door on loan, and that's 5. That's 5 players on loan. That's before we start. As I said, Tavernier's retiring. That's 6. You know, and there's obviously some wages will be freed up as well with some of the people that's left the club. Big wages. Your Matondos and your, what's the boy who went to Hull? I forgot his name now.
That's what happens to me. I forget the bloody names.
How about you, South?
What, centre back?
No. The boy played in midfield, the Englishman that come up from Norwich.
Oh, Tierndale?
That's the one. He's away, you know, Matondo's away, Ben Davis's contract's up, yeah. You know, so there is
some wages getting saved.
Some wages getting saved, yeah. And then obviously the wages will disappear because other players will come in and they'll be looking for more money potentially, but that's a cycle of football South side, isn't it? Kieran Dow, how could I ever forget him?
It depends on the type of calibre of player that we're looking at, and we've always heard the thing we want some Scottish blood into the squad, and that'll help it and all that. And well, it might and it might not. That's the thing. It depends on the mentality of the player, and then if you're bringing somebody in young who might need a wee bit of help, and I mean, Conor Barron came in, he was Scottish, he was young, he was a bit raw, he didn't play all the time at Aberdeen, and we were going to bring him on and make him a better player and try and adapt him and make him a good player, and he's been out the team for quite a bit now. Granted, he went out with injuries here and there, and he had a few decent games, but he'd made a lot of mistakes in midfield and all and cost his goals, but being young in that, it happens. I've tried to watch the boy Elliot Watt at Motherwell. I think he's pretty decent. I think he's got something about him. I know he's a blue nose and he'll probably walk to Ibrox. He's done all right in that Motherwell team with the system. He likes to get put his foot in and make a tackle. Reminded me a wee bit like Ryan Jack. I think he's got a wee bit more skill than what Ryan Jack had, but Ryan Jack came in and done a job and could do a job, and on form Ryan Jack was a really good player for us. I think he's got a bit more about him than Ryan Jack, but he reminds me a wee bit like him. And I've watched him a few times, and when he's played, and we've not played him, I've tried to catch bits about him and spoke to a couple of people I know that have watched him for quite a bit of the season, and they think he's a decent player. Could he come in and make a step up, maybe come in and do the job that we've tried to get Raskin to do? He's maybe a holding player, he's got a bit more about him, he's got better variety of passing and stuff. And could that be, in time, a better replacement than what Raskin's been for us? I don't know. But being Scottish, and obviously there's been a few other players touted about the league that some people have watched, but I've tried to watch that boy because I think he's got something about him. But whether he could make a step up or whether we'd be interested in him, I don't know. But I don't know whether it always...
I'd take a punch outside.
On him, on the Elliot Watt.
What I've seen, and I've not watched him every week because you know me, I'm that busy following the Southside Super Six. I sometimes don't have time at the weekend, right? But I would take a punt, but it would the punt, the deal would have to be right. I wouldn't be going mental. I don't want to be held to ransom, you know. But I would take a punt on what I've seen, mate.
I've tried to watch him, Oxen. The game against us at Fir Park, when they got away with a draw, he was decent that night, that day. I can't remember if it was a midweek game or not, or it was a Sunday, I can't remember, but he was decent. And obviously he played against us at Ibrox, I think he was on as well. And he's looked all right in sort of games and that. I've watched him. A couple of people I know I've watched him more regular than I have and seen more of him, and we're just playing against us, and one or two of the boys think he'd be a decent acquisition, and it's down to us to obviously to make him a better player and that, but the reckon he's got quite a bit about him that might, and being Scottish and being a boy nose, he might actually come in and do a decent job for us. He's got skill about him and that, and he's been put the fit in and that. So, but whether it'll come or no, things like that, I don't know, but every player you sign's a gamble. Every player. It doesn't matter how good they, like you say, how good they've been before. It's when they come to the club, it's can they handle it? Can they handle you should be wanting to win every single week. The pressure that comes with it, and is the shirt going to be all right for them? Because a lot of players come and can't handle it, and I think we've got a few in our team that can't handle that either. But that aside, we've got to build a squad again or add to the squad that we've started. And I still believe we're going to need at least 12 players. Without question, I think we're going to need about 12. Easy. But it's down to Kavanagh and the board and whoever's going to be picking these players. Obviously, Purdy's there at the moment. It's obviously going to have an input. Since we don't have a director of football and we don't seem to be going to go down that road, and it might just be that the manager's going to pick the players. And if we've had any influence with the manager, then I do think in a day and time we'll be all right. I think he works hard and just needs to get on the score sheet more and maybe get into the positions. I think he might do all right. I think Romans has been a decent buy. I think he's looked good. I think Chuck Wani came with the physicality, but we were looking for the middle of the park. And I think over time, in a decent system, I think he'll come good. He's been a bit off in a couple of games, but listen, he's only come in the door in January, and we've played the two in the midfield with him and Raskin sat a lot deeper in times and picked the ball off our centre-offs and left him in the middle of the park himself.
Aye. Another criticism. the way we had controlled the first half in the midfield without creating a lot, if we're honest, outside, with opportunities to make chances and pick their own pass through the piece, mate. A criticism we've had of the team in the past, mate. But I thought Giovanni and Diamande played well, better than Raskin in the first half. But I thought the second half, for some reason, they died out. And then you look at Diamande, mate. He's hardly kicked a ball since January. So we're into this realms of match fitness again. Bridgeman, and this is what some of the things that's left me scratch my head. Now, I'll be honest, and what we've watched in the last few weeks, I would have started Diamande, but he was never going to last, because he's hardly played Bridge.
Yeah, and there's a lot like that in our squad. They don't get the number of games required to retain their fitness. So they got a wee injury and they can't get back again, or it takes them longer to get back. I like them. I always liked Diamande. I thought he was a smashing player. Apart from that one wee thing he does, always going to ground, and for some reason he always comes back with the ball, I know. But
I think about Diamande, mate. He's got ability. He can turn and twist. He'll take the ball. Yeah. He works hard for you, right?
Can't find a man
what
with
did I
final
say
pass.
for day one? He can't do what?
Header a ball.
And then remember I got you watched it. What did you say?
Can he header a ball?
And I tell you, there's another thing he can't do.
Can he pass either?
Correct, Bridgeman.
Correct. Can he shoot either? No, we're doing well here.
And that's just, he's not a great striker of the ball, is he? It's no, you know what I mean? I'd like to see him take a corner. I doubt if he get it in, you know what I mean?
He's got, he'll graft, right? He's worked hard. He scored that goal in Europe where he's chased a dead ball in, if you remember, and he manages to slide in and loop out of the goalie into the far corner. He can do pirouettes when he's on the ground, and he can sort of shift the ball and get away from players here and there. But he's not going to score you many goals in a season. His shooting's not very good. His passing's a bit erratic. And he can't hit the ball. That's the reality. And every year we're sort of saying the same thing. We're back to, we're going to build this and we're going to get this type of player and that type of player, and we're back to the same sort of stuff again. It gets a bit tedious, you know what I mean? We're going to...
By the way, whatever, get these phone lines open. We've been chatting a lot. I
thought they would just have phoned in anyway, you know what I mean? They just phone in.
Phone lines open. Let's hear from you. So I'll come back to you, Southside. Oh, well, technical boys, they might be away on their holidays early. I don't blame them. Carry on, Southside. Look, there's flaws in a lot of the players, but I'm not taking Diamande out. I'm just saying that these are flaws in his game. He's not a great striker of the ball, and somebody should be working on that, because that is something you can improve. And the heating there, I don't know if you can. When you get a certain level, it's either there or it's no. And to play at that level, and to play an internationalist, he cannot time a jump or he did. It's remarkable. I don't know if you get away with some of that when you were playing primary school football.
No, I agree with that.
On you go, Bridge.
No, I was going to say I agree with that. It's just strange when you see professional footballers. There's some of them just can't, no matter what they say, they just can't jump, and they certainly can't head the ball when they get there. The amount of throw-ins we give away is just incredible, because we I think we've got a lot of 50-pence heads in our squad. The ball comes in. The other days, just head the ball straight down to the guys there. Not all of a sudden it's out for a throw in. No. I agree with you there. I agree with you.
And you come, Southside?
I just look at it, and we were talking about it on the way back on Sunday, and we were saying, like, no doubt people will be calling for the manager's head, and he'd only come in the door and had the length of time. He's had to work with Loney players and basically Thelwell and Russell Martin's players, and he's only managed to get a few players in the door that he probably wanted and liked. Gerrard got the 3 year, he built a team, he won 1 trophy. He should have won his trebles when we were getting beat with St Johnstone and St Mirren. A lot of people forget that. Gerrard brings you the winning mentality as a player, as a type of person. He brings that attitude, and players might want to come and play for him and all that. I get all that, but to be gabbed about it. At the end of the day, you get 3 years to build a team. All the rest of the managers we've had, because there's a support, we get impatient, and already people are calling for the manager's head already, who hasn't even been in the door a full season. We get into a position because that mob across the city employed an idiot who managed to let us back into it. They were a rump to, I think, but they never. And we got us into that position. And then the team should probably have carried us through and helped to make sure that we could have done more than what we've done in the last 2 games when we got to this point. But I still think the squad wasn't good enough. I think we've got players that lack certain abilities, as we've just talked about. If you talk about Diamandi, what he's good at and what he's not got in his game. And the thing is, Gerrard got 3 years to build a team. We're not giving a manager 3 years. The support get impatient straight away, like I say. So how are we going to fix things and how are we going to sort it if you're not prepared to give people some time to try and get it right and build a squad and a team? We'll just get back to, we need to change the manager again, we need to change the manager. So if it starts half bad, we go points behind, we get rid of him. This is what we've been doing, it's been a merry-go-round. We're talking about certain things and people are saying, look at Arteta at Arsenal when they were trying for him to go out the door. Eventually they stop by him. Eventually he starts to get them results, and now he's probably going to win them possibly a league and could win them a Europa League, Champions League. Different calibre player, different type of money, I get all that, but the pressure's a lot higher down in England and all. But they stopped by him and a lot of people would have sacked him. We just seem to want to sack everybody that just kind of get us to a certain point. But the only person we actually gave time to, and probably because Dave King was there in charge at the time, was Stevie G. But it's not to say Stevie G can... Yeah? Well, I'll ask you a question. How many players in that squad now would have got into Stevie G's squad at the end? Because it took him at the end when we were winning the league.
The Seville squad. The Seville squad.
Aye.
How many players in that squad or the team that played at the weekend there?
If the squad we've got now, I think the only one I would think would get in a Stevie G squad that when he was there, when he was building it to win as a league, might be Romans at left back. I don't think they've got another player. Raskin wouldn't even get anywhere near it. He'd put Ryan Jack out, Kamara, Davis, Aribo and Arfield. Not a chance. We've no got him, we've no got any of your midfielders would be able to displace any of them. One for him, not a chance. Stevie Davis, Ryan Jack when he was playing well and when he was fit. Who's going to take Ryan Jack's place in the middle of the park? You think Raskin would take it? Diamandi?
No.
No chance. Scotty Arfield, Aribo, Kamara. No, that's what we're at. We don't have a player like that.
Well, to be fair, Scott Wilson might have gotten it in place of Scott Wright.
You know, any of centre backs going to get into
it? I think Fernandes would.
Bassey and Goldson at his peak. Fernandes, I'll be honest with you, Bridge, I think Fernandes has been poor the last 3 weeks, mate.
He probably has, yeah.
I think I don't think he's been great. You see times he's a good football player, but if you're talking about pure defending, I don't think he's been great, mate. I really don't.
I think he gets very frustrated with the players running about him.
I've got another view on it, mate.
Go on then.
I'd rather keep that close to my chest.
No, go for it.
Nah. Well, you can work that one out, Southside, huh?
Aye, I think he's got. I think he's a bit lazy at times. He's just a bit lackadaisical at beginning. At times, I think he started well, and then I don't know. He's been all right, but I don't think he's there yet, and I still think he's raw. But we talked about that, and obviously Tav would have got in the team because he wouldn't know, but he was in Stevie G's team at the time. But you look at the midfield, the defence and the forwards. Romans, I think, would maybe. Borna was good, and I think he'd probably challenge him. But when I look at that squad, about what we've built and what they've been trying to build, it took Gerrard to the 3 years, but you look at the midfield we had in the up front, Alfie and all that, Kent, Mikey Moore, maybe at a point might have had a chance to feature, maybe. But Kent was a better player than him at the moment. But obviously he's got more experience than what Mikey Moore's got now, and he's a young boy. Mikey Moore will be a good talent, and he is a good talent. I think he's still carrying an injury. But if you look at the squad, Docs, what we've been trying to do, and even since he left, there's no many players that we've actually brought to the club that would have got in there. But it took him 3 years, 2.5 to 2 years, 3 years to get that right. And even at that, we should have won more cups under Steven Gerrard than we didn't. And in that time, St Johnstone, who we finished about 40 points behind us, won 2 cups. So they cannot go and praise Stevie G and all that and everybody else. But I don't know if he's be the answer. I get he brings the professionalism, I get he brings the will to win, I get he brings standards. But is that going to... He didn't want to come... He didn't even want to come the last time he was offered the job there, before Danny Rose.
Going back, mate.
Of course it is, aye. And that's what people sometimes should...
I like Stevie G, mate. I thought he was good for us. I think he took us for a low base. And he left us a far better club and a better team. And I agree with you.
Do you think if Stevie G took over and he was 6 months into a contract and Liverpool turned around and said, here, we want you to come to Liverpool, do you think he's going to hang about the Glasgow Rangers? Not a chance. He's doing that motorway and he's up the road to Liverpool. And if Stevie G was that good, how come nobody in England's wanted him? How come nobody else has come in and took him?
Because football's a village, mate. Football's a village. But look, I think we've got to always look forward. I don't think the management, the club are going to move Danny Rowe. I think they'll be disappointed how it panned out in the last couple of weeks. I think they'll be relatively pleased with how we've improved from where we were. Because we were a basket case. We were all flat as anything. And we can't talk it up, Bridge, because the last 2 performances out of the 2 games have been awful. And that's caused us a lot of frustration. And Danny Rowe's going to get some criticism for that. By the way, you might win 3-0 at our club and still get some criticism. We're a tough crowd, Bridge.
Absolutely. Like, Danny Rowe's going to get all the criticism he deserves because I know he's a manager. He's the one that's selecting the players. He's the one that's putting the way the team's going to play in. He's doing all that, and it's not working. That's 2 games in a row now. In the last 6, the last 5 games, 2 were leathered and well beaten, by the way, on the park. Well beaten on the park, and that's not good enough. And God help us as we go forward. It's not going to get easier, I'll tell you that. Even though we're maybe playing a lesser team past Celtic, but we're going to play Celtic is at the weekend on Sunday. My goodness gracious, we can't play like that against them. They'll absolutely murder us. Even though they're crap, to be honest. But there you go. This is the kind of thing that I would suggest footballers are thinking, football fans, Rangers fans are thinking. We get beat with Hearts and we get beat. What are they doing? Why? No one a point. Can we go through the whole of this last 5 games? Pointless. Is that possible? Shouldn't it be? You wouldn't even think of anything like that, would you?
Oh, ultimately, well, obviously it's still a big game on Sunday, mate, because you're hoping you can get a result and put pressure to get yourself in a different place in the league.
Absolutely, buddy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You're hoping. But we're all flat. We're all flat. And look, I expected, as I said all along on the show, I think we go to Hearts, I thought we would win the game. The Murrable scale, whether that affected our confidence, Bridge, I don't know, but then we never. But when you see the first half performance, you think, okay, they've bounced back, and then flat. The Hearts done all right. They worked hard without doing a lot, but they won all their duels, mate, and that was a disappointing thing, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What can you say? It's Rangers. It's just it's like a madhouse at times, you know. And I'm just looking. Last two games, haven't got a point out it. You know, but obviously we're playing against. I thought the best footballing side in the country that I've seen is Motherwell. We've got Hearts, who are a tremendous force, big, strong team, and a lot of pace, and they're not scared of anybody. They fight for everything, and we don't. That's the gospel truth. We don't. So now we're going to come up against them across the city after all the nonsense that they did with the no fans at Parkhead and all that nonsense. So we'll see how we can do against them. And yes, it would be lovely to beat them, of course, absolutely lovely. But I've got a sneaking suspicion we've got a long way to pick our players up from. Lost 2 games as you've never lost. Absolutely. Leading 1-0 at half time, and we gave away 2 goals. Oh, and no answer to it. Sorry, guys.
No, it's all right, Bridge. I mean, we're all frustrated. We're all annoyed. We're all questioning the players. People are questioning the manager, and I understand that. I question some of his decisions. I always question managers. You know me, Southside. Yeah.
Listen, he's made some mistakes. He's a young manager.
Have you made any in your life, mate?
Aye. We all do. And there's plenty of people out there get skeletons in their cupboard, I'll tell you. And we all make mistakes from time to time. And so's he's a manager. And listen, Stevie G made mistakes. Clement made mistakes. All the managers that we've had in the past have all made mistakes. And listen, you need to put your horn up. Some managers will come out and say, I made a mistake. Gerrard used to do it. I remember he came in and go, that one's on me, or take it off the players. If he wasn't happy, maybe just think that one's on me. But they make mistakes from time to time. And Danny Rowe's a young manager. Listen, he galvanised the squad, and he started to get some players playing quite well. And he was on a run to a point where we were doing quite well. And listen, we'd only been beat up until a few weeks ago by one team this season. And the draws, I think, killed us at the start of the season, and draws later on, and games points will be dropped. I still always say it's down to players. I think the Motherwell game, I come on here and I said I think he shouldn't have changed the 3 subs at the time he did. I can understand why he done it, but I don't think he should have done it. We were under the cosh. Players did look a bit out on their feet. We were getting a wee bit disjointed. He might have made 1 or 2, maybe made 2 Stu instead of bringing on Majovsky on the striker and whatever he done, but he done it. And eventually, a couple of minutes later, we conceded that goal at Motherwell away, and we dropped 2 points that day. We were looking forward to going to Hibs, and the players turned up that day, and they were stinking in the whole first half. Players, I think, is the ones that carry the can. The manager sets the team out. He tells them to go out and play, and it's the players that have got to go out and force the issue, want the ball, be brave, take responsibility. And I just think we've got players that are at a young age in some of the key positions of our squad, and maybe don't want that responsibility or don't look for the ball at times when they should be. And that's when you're looking for certain players that are a bit more experienced in the squad and your leaders that we talk about to do something and carry the team. But we are, Ox. We can still
can't get about it.
No, we need to fight for second place here. But I think it's tune time by the looks of it.
Yep. Get yourself a mute, because we're going to have a tune.
The cry was not surrender, or you'll die with heart and hand and sword and shield. God, all there is one. surrender. You'll die with heart and hand and sword and shield. Will guard old Derry's wall. When James and all his rebel band came up to Bishopsgate with heart and hand and sword and shield, we'll force them to retreat.
While you are sitting listening on your own, why not take part and give us a phone? We would love to hear your points of view, so get off your bum and call 0141 356 1972.
Well, thanks for that, Fox, Old School Blue. Aye, look, what a frustration. People have got their thoughts, mate. People have got their thoughts, you know, about what they think's wrong or what they think's right. Football is difficult, and maybe when you look back, maybe there's too many people not committed to the club, either consciously or subconsciously, mate, because a lot of them leaving, mate. A lot of them leaving for different reasons, Southside. But I'll come back to you.
Aye.
I think
Listen, I just want to...
I'll carry on, mate, before I bring Josh in.
I just wanted to pick up on something that somebody put in the YouTube feed. I think it's Steve K. He says that we're not any better. Danny Roll's not any better since January than what Russell Martin was. Find that hard to believe, mate. If you look at Russell Martin's first 8 games...
I'll answer that in a minute. I'll get the exact stats, mate, yeah?
Aye, but listen, I'll say them, we battered Hearts at Ibrox and we battered Aberdeen twice in the couple of weeks we played them.
I'll check it out and I'll come back to you, but we've also been joined by Josh. Evening, Josh.
Good evening, boys. You all right?
Oh, yourself?
I'm all right. I'm down in Nottingham. So it's my birthday on Saturday. My granddad phoned me last night about 11 o'clock and he says to me, Josh, I want you to come down because I want to give you a surprise. So I went away down, drove away down last night. I've just come in early hours of this morning, got a kip, and went into the living room and he says, I want you to come with me to the Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest Europa League semi-final. He says, that's your birthday. I know you're a Glasgow Rangers supporter and stuff. You don't need to wear the colours and all that kind of stuff, but it's a wee bit of an experience for you. And it's just a wee reward for getting over your cancer and all that kind of stuff. And I want you to start getting out and experiencing other things rather than being working and seeing to your brothers and sisters and stuff like that. Just get you a wee bit. So I went down and he gave me the ticket and I had breakfast at the City Ground in Nottingham. And I met a few of the players, Gibbs White, the bandage on or something. And he'd knocked or something, he says to me, that he had against the team that he was playing at the weekend, and Chris Wood as well. And they signed a shirt, kind of thing, happy birthday. Because my granddad's from Nottingham, and he's been a Nottingham Forest supporter for 75 years or something. 75 years.
Listen, Josh, I hope this is not a trend, because me and Southside are coming on and giving our stories with real life Southside.
I'm glad you enjoyed your day, Josh. Nottingham's not a bad wee ground. A good wee stadium. Aye, no, it was good to have had a wee day out.
Southside, is Nottingham not got a history of robbing off the rich to give to the poor? Has that not happened there before?
Aye,
What
it's
was
happened
that?
there before.
Oh, Nottingham, has that not got a history of taking off the rich to give to the poor?
Is that no when Robin? Is that no when Robin Hood and his merry men were about?
That's correct, Josh. That's correct.
But I was just going to ask because I get sideways with the story with the Nottingham and stuff because I'm here. I'm here the weekend, Southside. But I was going to ask you because you says we needed 13 players because I was listening to you on the YouTube, my granddad's YouTube telly, and I was thinking I need to ask Southside this question. There's a World Cup. We're in the World Cup and there's a World Cup tournament. Will that no deter us or damage us for trying to get that amount of players in that one time because of the World Cup? Will it be no hard to sign all these players because some of the players that we might target might be in the World Cup? You know what I mean?
They might not be the World Cup, Josh. Southside.
I did say that, Josh. Obviously, with the World Cup on, it might be harder, but Oxford was of it that we've already sorted out the players. We've probably nailed some down that we're looking at now, and some of them might be already in the thoughts and might have made contact with some of them and that, whatever. But I think it'll be hard, depending on the calibre of players that we're trying to sign. But we do need to sign quite a good number of players. That's just a fact. The ones that have all been on loan, you could more or less say they'll all be away. My personal opinion is I don't think Mikey Moore will come back. I think Tottenham will probably want to keep him. And if they don't, I think they might send him out on loan down in England somewhere. I don't think he'll come back up. But that's just my opinion. I'd like to see him come back up, but I don't think he will. So I'm looking at it as well, probably most of the loan players that we've signed will probably no come back. I think Giga will maybe get a game for Wolves in the Championship because he'll obviously lose a lot of their players and he might feature in the Championship. And Cornelius, I don't know what we're going to be doing with him.
I forgot about Cornelius, by the way. He's got.
We had a view to buy him, but whether that thing me so, we're going to be pretty threadbare and we need to sort of start to rebuild, Josh. So it will be hard with the World Cup being on and some squad players that might not take part in it but might be picked for their country that we might be interested in. We might have to wait until they come back or whatever, but it will be hard, and depending on where we're playing our European football at the start of next season will be another factor that we'll need to make sure that we might have to have a squad ready, because if it is the Europa League by chance, then it starts a bit earlier than anything else and we need to be ready. So it's going to be it's going to be a trying time, Josh, but it'll be the same for a lot of clubs.
Just to go back to the question you asked me, Southside, about since January, all right. So we played 6 games in January itself, beat Celtic, beat Aberdeen twice, beat Annan, beat Regrets, beat Dundee, and lost 3-1 away to Porto, right? Yeah. So just in January, I think the form's a wee bit better than Russell Martin. In February, we played. Let me see. We played 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 games. Sorry, we drew with Hibs away, beat Kilmarnock 5-1, beat Queen's Park, drew with Motherwell, beat Hearts at Ibrox, and drew 2 each with Livingston. So a couple of bad results in there, but a couple of decent results as well. But yeah, so that form's better than Russell Martin. You go into March, obviously eventful. We played 4 games. We never lost any of them. We won 2 and drew 2, 1 in the cup and 1 in the league. So that form's better than Russell Martin. And then we get to the last 3 games, and therein lies the problem. We have beat Dundee United, we have beat Falkirk, and then we played Motherwell, and there's when the problem started. for the Dundee United game, we have started leaking goals. And in the last 4 games, we have conceded 10 goals. There's the problem, and there's where maybe the criticism will come. Yeah, we've won 2 and lost 2. So Russell Martin won 1 league game in 7, mate, so the form is better than Russell Martin, mate. Now, people might say that we're not playing great football. If you take the last 2 weeks in isolation, Josh, it's hard to argue we're not playing great football the last 2 weeks.
I just think, excuse me, it's a mentality thing. I mean, we've it's 45 minutes. That's all we've been playing. Falkirk, 45 minutes. Celtic, 45 minutes. They came back 2 each. Hearts and Motherwell. It's just not been good enough. It's just not been good enough. I just put it down to, you can't blame the manager all the time, because you need to put the impetus on the players, because it's the players on the park. I don't think Butland's any good, a goalkeeper. I think he was at fault for the goal with Shankland. He was in the wrong position for the start, so he left too much a gap. In my opinion, and I've watched it a few times. As for the goal, Kingsley goal that hit the post, I don't agree that it's Olsen and Tavernier's fault either. If you look at it, the ball bounces off the post and it goes straight to Kingsley. No chance of trying to intervene, because the guy just passes the ball into the back of the net, an open goal. So, I mean, it's just one of these things, but it's just happening too many times. It's a ongoing occurrence, and it's right for Hibs, as you say, Docs, and then it's Livingston 2 down, Falkirk 2 down, and the better teams are going to get to you. We wouldn't have got any points after Livingston if that boy never gets sent off, because they were in no danger. Okay, their goalkeeper had an absolute outstanding, once in a blue moon man of the match game, but we were only passing it side, back, side. We weren't penetrating or doing anything and even in the second half against Hearts. They made that substitution Spittle, is it? The Hearts boys Spittle, and that's when the game changed. We never troubled Hearts in that second half. Same as at Celtic at Ibrox. Martin O'Neill seen the trouble and brought on one player and then brought in another player, Hatate and Tunetti, and they could have scored 7 goals at Ibrox, and that's in the second half. And that was a worrying sign for me away back then. And then all that possession, okay, we had 20-odd chances at goal, 95% possession. We pinned them back in the 18-yard box. But you can't, if you don't put the ball in the back of the net and we get beaten penalty kicks, we're out the cup. It's a trophyless.
You've got to score goals. You've got to score goals, but you've got to keep it at the back end. Interesting stats. You can make stats mean a lot of things, but ultimately we've not defended. I'd have another look at the goal with the Hearts. I accept it's no Scove Olsen's fault when it hits the post. We've got a bit of luck. He's even looking the wrong way. He's no switched on at all. The boy, he's no marking his man. He's no watching the ball. He's done nothing, mate. Absolutely nothing. Yeah. What do you think, Bridge?
I can't disagree with that. That's quite cut and dry. The ball goes across, hits the post, comes out straight to the guy. And as I said, there's 7 Rangers players in the box. And you know what I mean? The guy gets a ball and passes it into the net. And our goalkeeper was caught on the left side as well. It's just happened so quickly. He never saw it. I dare say he never saw it because he didn't move. I've been thinking, where's the goalkeeper? Why is he not running across? The ball's hit the post, and it just happened in a fraction of a second. The ball's back in again, it's in the net. None of your team cover themselves in glory during that. Because that ball came across the goal, no matter what we say, it came across the goal, and nobody got hold of it. Nobody touched it. Nobody did anything. I don't blame anybody personally for that. I'm just saying there's 6 or 7 players, including the goalkeeper, of course, in the box there when that ball came out, and nobody even made a move. The ball was just, as Josh said there, he just passed it in the net. Simple as that.
Aye, he done his job. But aye, I mean, I've not studied it since Monday night, but at the time and when I seen it after, I think I don't know if you're saying he's lack of concentration, lack of awareness. I don't know what you think. It's not just his fault, as much as I've not enjoyed Scott Wilson Southside, but it's not just his fault. But when the critical moment when the guy passes in, he's not switched on at all, mate.
Players haven't been switched on for many a time this season. We couldn't even be switched on for a penalty when our goalkeeper's making 2 saves and the rest of them are standing at the edge of the 18-yard box, not watching that happen. You know what I mean? It just gets to the point. I think players have got to take a lot of responsibility throughout the season, and I think sometimes it's easy to overlook certain things. Scott Wilson, I think, should have been switched on, but I agree when he waltzes past Sterling and hits the post, that does come out at quite a bit of pace, and it just comes right out to him where he just has to lift his foot and tap it back into the net. There's plenty of space for him to do it. Tav, I don't think he was doing what he should be doing, sort of at the back post, and Scott Wilson, as we've seen, was turned in the other direction. But it was a sloppy goal to lose. And the second goal, Hearts will say, well, it was a well-worked goal because your striker runs off your centre-back, creates the space when the boy tucks the ball back for the byline. But it was true. It was a good finish for Shankland, and it's just typical. So I kept thinking, I've said it for long enough, he should be one of the players I think we should have went for. And I heard all the nonsense on the show. POI's only scored 2 goals in this and that. This season he's only scored 3 goals or 4 goals. He was played a totally different position. Shankland's a goal scorer in the box that comes alive. And gain a lot of chances, he can certainly stick them away. And Hearts are playing above themselves this year. Let's not be kidded. They're doing what Leicester City done in the league. And I thought we would have went there to Tynecastle, and I thought we'd have beat them. And I think we had expected to beat them. And I think after the first half, I expected the second half for a wee bit of reaction from them, but expected us to be able to come out and finish the job. And again, these players have played for 45 minutes. In a game in the magnitude of that. Same with Motherwell, although role could have been questioned for that, but I think the team he picked against Motherwell, I don't think many people would have disagreed with the starting 11 that he picked. And I think maybe on Sunday you might have disagreed with 1 or maybe 2 positions, but I think the rest of the team that he picked, the centre backs, some might have preferred Sterling at right back, maybe played Magoma. Other people might have been happy with Sterling at left back and Tavon at right back, but maybe not with Scott Wilson. So either or, you might have picked a hole in 1 or 2, but after the first 45 minutes at Tynecastle, I don't think anybody would have been really complaining who was doing what or what, because Hearts never laid a glove on us in the first half.
I was, mate. I'd have took Scott Wilson off at half time, mate.
Aye, and who would you have brought on?
That's a good question, mate, because Gassama, and when he came on, he was poor, but at the time, it might have been Gassama, but his performance when he came on, he wasn't great, but I thought he was bringing up the party. I'm not saying Gassama was the answer, mate, that's not what I'm saying, but I would have took him off. I thought, I know, I get it, he gets the ball and he passes it back, mate. There was chances, he had chances to make chances, never done them. He doesn't work hard enough neither. He's not physical enough. It's just no work to it, and I wouldn't have played him. I wouldn't have played him at all at the weekend, but I took him off at half time because I think you've got to evolve. And football's changed, Josh. You've got 5 subs. You've got to try and it's part of the game.
Yeah, there's no use playing a player that's making you a man down, and that's what he is. Olsen, unfortunately, because he does nothing. His stats are good because he does nothing. That's it. But a man down, and it's no good. I would have put Gassama on or Asgard as well. I wouldn't have even started Olsen. So it's just a waste of time, as you say. he's no done nothing since he's been to the club, and it's just one of the catalogue of blunders that we've been doing all season for me, Ox. There's just been players that have been underperforming, and it's just, to me, it goes back to the mentality of they don't know the Rangers, what it is. Two, I think they're struggling because they go to these clubs and they get away with not winning every week, but they don't understand the real intensity that you need to win every week at Glasgow Rangers, because second or third doesn't count. Second or third doesn't count.
I think you'll find that Club Brugge, you look at their record, mate, they're there and thereabouts. I know it's a similar size of country, similar size, yeah. They're there and thereabouts.
This league, I know Hearts have been as Southside says, a one-hit wonder. They'll not win the league again now for about 25 years or something, Hearts, because they're not a very good team. Out with Braga and Shankland, they're crap. That's the two players that make them tick.
I didn't think they changed the game for them at the weekend, mate. I think their midfield got our tap out midfield and then let them play.
We just let them run out the tappies, but we usually do.
They won the midfield. Bridgeman.
They never even Southside said
Bridgeman.
Aye.
I can't disagree with that. I think it was obvious to most of us watching the game that our midfield, particularly in the second half, was not in this game because they were outplayed, outfought, and outsmarted by their midfield. And their midfield, I thought, were absolutely tremendous. And their back four were stand out compared to us. I'm talking in the second half only. We were a good chunk of the game in the first half. We played very well against them, and that included some of our midfield play. It wasn't that bad. But something happened after half time, and we just lost it, and we couldn't get it back again. No matter how many players we brought on, we couldn't get it back again. Gassama came on, and I like Gassama, but my goodness gracious, he only got 3 kicks at the ball, and then he started having to go back away with it. If he couldn't hardly go forward, he had to go back with it. These are the things that frustrate everyone, I know, but I don't think we've got a great, shall we say, backup to the first team. We've not got a backup. We're sitting in a substitutes bench, and I don't know who they could have brought on instead of Gassama. It had to be Gassama. But
you that man. But again, he's hardly kicked a ball, mate.
That's right, pal. I'd forgot about him.
Back in you come, Josh. Then we'll go to Southside.
But another thing, Romans and Nadiri came on. So if they're fit to come on as a sub, why not play them for the first 45 minutes or the first 60 minutes? Why not? If they're on the bench, why not? Because Romans, we need them. Romans is our top player at that side, that left-hand side, and Nadiri would have helped Shamiti. Why not play 2 up front? Because Shamiti, to me, isn't an out-and-out goal scorer. He's a hod-up player. He hods the ball up, that guy, and he scores the odd wonder goal, but he drifts to the left or the right-hand side. He's not a penalty box striker, Shamiti. He needs somebody there with him. And that's why we overcame Falkirk, if you remember, in that second half, because Roll put on Miowski, and that's when we started scoring all the goals.
I don't think they're on the bench day too. Back in the day when you didn't have all these subs, I think they're on the bench because they 9 subs. And if they could give you half an hour, I get that point. Why do you not start them? But Southside, just in my head, if you're fit enough for the bench, you're fit enough to play because you've got to be ready to go at any time.
That's what you should normally be. I think we did miss Romans. Sterling done all right in the first half, but I don't like this right-footed player playing the left back. I would have preferred Sterling to have played right back if he was coming on the park at all. But I get why he done it. Probably try to bolster it and make it a bit more physical. Because teams have played on Magoma. Last couple of games have targeted them doing that sort of side and doubled up on them. But listen, I'll keep going back to it. It's down to players' attitude and application. And they've got to come out with the same attitude as what you come on the park with at the start. And a lot of them had the right attitude. We didn't create millions of chances against Hearts, but we dominated them. We were finding the extra man. We were on the ball. And we done well in the first half to limit them to one shot at goal. But second half, obviously, they're looking for a reaction. And their manager managed to get it out their team. And we sort of stood and watched it happen round about us, the players that was on the park. And then we tried to react later on, we bring on the subs. I think Romans does make us stronger. I think Nadiri playing makes us stronger. I think he knows he's probably strongest 11 or 10 and gear take a player of that. But I think Mikey Moore, I think, tried hard, but kept running into trouble and losing the ball. So, listen, they're just disappointed all round. Like I say, the knives are out for Danny Rowe with a lot of the support, and it'll be interesting to see what the board do going forward. Whether he gets homesick, if that's the rumour that's floating about, or whatever, we'll find out in time. But I think he's done pretty well. I think he's made some mistakes, but I think a lot of it's down to our players, player recruitment.
If he doesn't want to be your club, I'm the same with anybody, mate. Yeah, if it's not a good fit for everybody, shake hands and move on, mate. Yeah.
If he doesn't want to be, aye.
No.
He's not come out and said anything.
Same with players outside that.
Aye, and listen, we've got players, like I said, that who might play within themselves now because there is nothing left, and they are going to a World Cup. And like I say, they'll not want injured, they'll want to get there, they'll want to go and play in it. It's a big tournament, you're representing your country. And we've got players there that are gone, and they might not exactly give 100%. It'll be interesting to watch going forward. But you should be able to get yourself up for a game on Sunday. Aye, from your point of view, it's a game against them and it's a game you want to win. But whether the players will be up for it or no, certain ones we'll see come Sunday. We can certainly get ourselves into second place, and we need to start picking up points, and we can also put a dent in their title hopes as well as give us a boost to try and get as far up the league as we can. Mathematically, it's still possible, but it's very, very unlikely. But mathematically, it's possible. But no, there's no. I never think there's never a game when you go to play them that you shouldn't want to win. And the carry on that we've had to put up with them trying to demand that the Union Bears give up their tickets and all that nonsense, and the way they've conducted themselves, as I told you weeks ago, what they were up to. I think that should add a bit of fire when we get there on Sunday as a support that's going to be inside that stadium.
You know me, I've always been a Union Bear.
Right, well, get your black gear on Sunday. It's time to go up to the piggery.
But aye, Josh, I've got a simple view. People don't want to be with the club. You know, obviously, sometimes there's financial implications. You've got to try and get a deal what's best for the club. But I'm a great believer. It only ends one way. You part ways, mate.
Aye, but we just need to wait and see. It's up to Kavanagh and that and the board. They've came here. They're Americans and they're successful in other sports, aren't they? So American football or something. They've got a franchise and all that kind of stuff, and so they're used to winning. They'll not put up with us finishing third or even second or even no winning trophies. They're winners. All these American people. We might be used to it because we've seen our club being like mismanaged and all that kind of stuff, and we can't go down this road with sacking every manager that doesn't win the league. I think Danny Rowe has done fantastic. It's only like he's done mistakes. He's got the squad. He's picked the wrong wrong squad. He's not made the changes when we're supposed to make the changes when the team's vulnerable in the park, and to strengthen the positions where the positions are supposed to be strengthened. Anybody, but it's his first. He's only been here less than a year. You just need to maybe give him to next season, get him to get a budget and bring his own players in and all that kind of stuff. Get rid of the idiots that don't want to play for the club, and maybe we'll be better next season. We can't just keep on going down this road with fire him, fire that. Aye, Russell Martin, because he was an absolute clown, but Danny Rowell's done wonders. For October, we were 13 points behind. We were in touching distance with a point for Hearts at one stage, and we blundered
We blew it. Well, that's the frustration, mate. We blew it. And I get how everybody's upset, and Bridgeman, we're all annoyed. For different reasons. We'll get different. Everybody sees it quite differently. But we're all annoyed.
Absolutely. I'm raging. Can't say anymore. I'm just raging. That performance was utterly. Actually, you know what it did? It just put the tin hat on it. That's the kind of way we've been playing and heading towards. Our success rate is very, very poor, as we know, and I just put it in me. As I said, it would be shortly later, but a bit earlier. In my opinion, I don't think we'll win another point. I think we'll get gubbed in every game from out at the end of the season, because I don't think they'll recover. I don't think our team have got the bottle to recover. I would love to be.
I get your rationale. I hope you're wrong.
So do I, of course.
Get him HR.
Get him HR.
I'm just writing a letter as we speak. Get yourself a mute and let's hear from you as we move into the last half an hour of the show.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
He's in first name terms with HR Southside. You're not threatening him with sending him out.
I'll just say I don't agree with you, Bridge.
His Royal Highness, he thought it was. HRH, he thought it was.
Ox, the record in Old Firm derbies are in our favour. They haven't beat us since September 2024. That's the record. They will beat us
in 90 minutes.
Aye, they've no beat us. All right, they put us at the Scottish Cup, but they've not actually beat us in a competitive game in 90 minutes since September 2024. So everything's in our favour, but it's just the mentality of the players. And I don't get this. It's a dead rubber. There's never ever a dead rubber in an Old Firm derby, because we want to smash each other, whether it's them or us. We want to smash them in the park and get the 3 points, and that's it. I don't want them to win the league, and this is the impetus. If they want to give us something back from the bad performances, they will go out and put on a 90-plus minute performance for the fans that they've let down, and just let Hearts win the league. I wouldn't mind. I don't mind Hearts, because Hearts have been the best team all season. Derek McInnes is quite justifiably so the manager of the year. And Shankland, we missed a trick for no signing him when we should have. And that's all I'm going to say with the new.
I don't know if this group have got 90 in them. It's too much. It's happened too often, mate. I can't put my finger on it. There was times where we blamed Suter. Suter was our forum, Southside, and you're thinking, we're a better team when we get Tucci starts getting with Raskin in midfield. That gives a bit of physicality. We know what Raskin can do. We look to get Big Chermiti playing up front. In the first half, I thought done okay at the weekend. We got a lot of service in the second half, but I'm not saying he was outstanding by any manners or means, but I think with problems with the right hand side again, Southside's became an issue. That and the two fullbacks, if it, who A or B, and then we didn't have C on the part, that being Romans, you know. So there's been a lot of the collective. I don't know if this group have got 90 in them, because they've not shown it, mate. That, you know, even when the games we've won, the day United at Ibrox, Falkirk, you know, even we've not had four great halves, mate. I've been banging on it for months on here. When they start winning two halves of football.
Aye, 100%. It's not been good enough. And we can all go back to certain games. You go back to Hibs at Easter Road when you were talking about it. We went there that day, we were abysmal and all. Just didn't really turn up. And that's what this squad's been doing. Listen, we could all sit here and pick a team for Sunday, and then probably, if you pick it for the players that played on Sunday, the players that have been more or less tried and tested, I wouldn't expect Ant-Man to come in and start a game. I'd expect probably Gasmara to maybe feature for the start. So I don't think Scove Olsen will start when we go to play them in the East End of the city. I think the majority of the players that started on Sunday against Hearts will probably start again, because they're the ones that have been trusted for most of the season. Sterling might come in at right back, you might not see Tav, you might see Magoma, but I don't think there'll be many changes. I just don't see it. I think he'll stick by roughly what we've been watching all season, because I think he knows roughly what his strongest sort of squad is, and it's down to the players. But whether they give you a 90-minute performance or no, probably no. But we'll wait and see who's up for the fight on Sunday when they come on the park, and you'll be able to sit and judge it when we get there on Sunday, and it'll be interesting. But I don't think the squad will change too much. Do you think Suter would come back in for Jigger or Fernandez? Do you think he would start?
Based on what, mate? Based on what?
That's what I'm saying. Aye, but could he make a change and maybe bring him in, or does he keep like we've been watching? Do we agree that Fernandez and Jigger have been the two best in form of late, even though they've been leaking goals?
I'm not saying all the goals have gone down to them, mate, but I mean, John Suter, you know, we were critical, myself included. You know, I was quite critical. Bridgeman, you know, I know you're not a fan, but how would you get him back in the team? Again, he's hardly kicked a ball either.
Yeah. I don't know, is he going to be Scotland for the international?
Well, he's been in the last.
I mean, from a
squads,
fitness perspective. From a fitness perspective, is it?
Start a game, John Suter.
I'm not a big fan, as you said. I'm not a big fan of. I have to say, Giga isn't a great player to me. He's quite weak, although strangely enough, I think he's quite fast in recovery. But he's caught out. He's a wee bit like Tav now, or Tav, there's a blunder in him. So you're sort of on your toes every time he's on the ball. I doubt very much if he'll stay with us. I think he'll go, but I hope they don't turn around and say, right, we've got John Suter for an extra season, so let's just make use of him. I'm saying, well, I know we've got to give him an extra season. In my opinion, I think they might just take that chance and say, right, we'll just use John Suter with Fernandez and let him go in with it. I just don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't trust John Suter. I wouldn't trust him. He's really good at blocking, because of his size, he can block the ball well, and it looks like a real last minute thing. He gets his foot in. It looks great, not for a tackle, just to block the ball. I think he gives away too many fouls and gets booked a lot, and sometimes he's end up going to send off, you know. But I think I don't want John Suter.
Again, Bridge. Again, he's hardly kicked a ball in 2 months nearer.
That's it, you know.
I don't know if you noticed that, Southside. He's hardly played. So how's he going to be fit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He could come back. He's had a few weeks off, and I mean, technically he could come in, but I think the way that they've been set up and the way they're playing Maeda through the middle, I don't think we're going to chance John Soot in the middle of the defence. I think Jiga's got enough pace and has shown he's got enough pace to cover that area. And I think Maeda is probably a set to start through the middle against us, and I think we'll probably play Jiga for his pace because I think he's got enough in there that can not avoid that threat. I think Oxon, for your defensive side, I think John Souttar, when he came on in the cup game in the extra time, I think he looked terrified, and Maeda caused him a lot of problems with the pace and getting in behind him. He looked pretty shaky, Big Souttar, when he came on that day, so I don't think that he'll chance it. I think it'll be Jiga and Fernandez in the middle of your defence that day.
Josh?
I agree. Excuse me, with Southside, I think when Souttar shot a brick when he was coming up against Maeda, and that's how we ended up too deep, playing far too deep, and they ran out of the tappies only because of Maeda's pace against Souttar. I wouldn't play him at all, but I wouldn't play Olsen either. I just think we're down to the bare bones. But I want to ask Bridgeman and Southside, would you start Romans and Nadiri, guys? Take a chance on they two, start them.
I'll go first. I'd definitely start Romans. 100% start him, most assuredly. Nadiri, I like Nadiri. I'd pair Nadiri and the big Chermiti. I'd pair the two up front. Absolutely. These are two of them are the big tough guys, and yet they're going to have to be big tough guys playing against that mob over on the other side of the city. It's really difficult, and we're looking for people that's got long legs and a good touch. And I think both of those boys have got it. Score some good goals, or make good goals. I think I'll go with that. I'd definitely play Romans and the two centre halves, the two centre forwards. Sorry.
I've got to be honest, I don't think they look fit in the weekend, neither of the two of them. But it'll be interesting as another week going by. You never know. Southside?
I would like to think you could probably put the two of them in. I think Romans can come in now. I'd like to think he could. It'll be interesting to see whether he plays Nadiri. He works hard, and if he's fit enough, whether he'll last, I don't know. But for a good part of the chunk of the game, he'll certainly work hard for you. He runs off the ball, and he can create problems. I think we've missed him. But you've got to make sure you balance the midfield, Josh, because you don't want to be overrun in the midfield against them, and certainly in the couple of games that we've played against them, we've given them enough space in the middle of the park against us, and they created a good few chances. Even in the game when we beat them, when Nonsi was in charge and all, for the first half, they created a lot of chances against us. They had loads of space. And then in the last game, at Ibrox, you could see when Nadiri and that, where we absolutely battered them off the park for 45 minutes. But second half, the team just didn't come out. And obviously, listen, we had a reaction against them at Parkhead when we went up and when we done them, Mikey Moore and that scoring. And teams do that. You look for a better second half, but you've got to win your midfield battles in these games, and that allows you to go and play. So I think that's what we've got to go out and win first and foremost, is a midfield battle. And the way we've been playing with the two, and if Raskin's coming dead deep to pick the ball off the centre backs, I don't like that idea. Centre backs can go and bring the ball forward themselves, and he can be up the park in the middle of the park to help Big Chikwani. But I've got a feeling I think we'll play the three against them at Parkhead. I think Diamandi will probably keep his place. I don't see Conor Barron coming in or anything like that, so I think Diamandi, Chikwani and Raskin will probably feature when we go there on Sunday. I don't think we'll go in with the two. I don't see Asgard starting either. I think Gismara will probably start. I would think he'll probably start, but with the manager's choice, he's going to go with the tried and trusted. I don't think we'll have any big. Don't think Handman will come in and
They
start.
might be tried Southside. I don't know if they're trusted.
Aye. They're certainly trying your patience.
Can I ask you a question, Southside? You're happy the tickets were available?
Was I happy?
Aye.
Well, I think we were due the allocation.
Yeah,
It's what was agreed, 2,500.
And what about
so
what about the attempted restriction on Union Bears?
no, I think that's poor. I think it's pathetic, actually.
Yeah.
Listen, I've said it many a time. They don't come on the park at Ibrox. Nobody comes on the park. It's as simple as that. And when they come on the park and they've got players swinging on a crossbar that you could all watch, and everything else that came for it, and then obviously that, and then they take the moral high ground. We try to say that they're not allowing the Union Bears in. Why no? We allowed their Green Brigade and the rest of their mobs to come into our ground. They had them banned for long enough out the Rain Stadium for their own conduct, and then they take the moral high ground on the Union Bears. Fair play to the Union Bears. They've turned around and said that they'll give up their allocation to go there. And I know it's not for everybody, but they've asked you to go dressed in black on Sunday. I'd hope the vast majority support there. And I do believe if that happens, then it might help others. I'll leave it at that. But what I'll say is, no, they can't dictate who gets tickets and who doesn't. That's down to Rangers Football Club when they give out the tickets through the Managerial scheme. It was a Category A game, so it was only gold members that were getting the tickets. But I'm sure come Sunday, for what they've gave us, we'll be loud and proud as always. We'll go and support our team and give them the energy, hopefully, to get a victory up there again at Parkhead and sicking that mob. But no club should dictate which element of your support or who that supports your team get tickets. But it'll be interesting to see how Rangers react to it the next time when the tickets are getting, if we're going to give them any tickets for Ibrox in the future. We'll see if Rangers put restrictions on anything should they get them, if they get them at all. There's a good chance they might know next season, so it'll be interesting. But I told you weeks and weeks ago on here, Bridge, they were trying this scam. They withheld the tickets back, and then they eventually tried to do it, and I think it was scandalous what they've tried to do. Any advantage that could help them was what they were up to. But as I've said before, they don't come on the park at Ibrox. There's nobody on the park. Simple as that.
Yeah, quite right too. Quite right.
It's not like that mob, is it? But anyway, we move forward. We've got to put Monday behind us at some point. It's not been. We're not in a great place. Josh, you've got to admit the players. They'll be flat. You'd like to think they're flat because after that performance in the second half, you think it will affect their confidence. They've looked a confident bunch at times. But other times they've looked as strangers.
I just need to hope that they get a good training session in all this week and up to the game on Sunday, and let's hope that they put in a performance for the support that are going to the game and us that only haven't they got a ticket and that have went to the games all season like Southside and stuff. The real support, do you know what I mean? So they need to give something back to the fans because they've let us down. They've blew the league under for no reason, for lack of motivation or whatever it is, mindset or whatever you want to call it. It's just been a disastrous ever since you keep on saying it for the Motherwell game. It's capitulated, and it's begalling if Celtic end up.
Some people might say it's a Spanish trip, Josh.
Huh?
Some people might say we've capitulated since the Spanish trip.
We've capitulated some kind of way anyway. And it's been, as you say, you keep on saying it, it's been coming, and it's been all season, really, right up for Hibs, Livingston and all that. Do you know what I mean? So you can't keep on playing just for 45 minutes, and they'll get something to play for as well. They can still win the league mathematically, and it'd be. I'm just sick because I know that we've out of the 3 teams, we've got the best team. We have got the best team, player for player.
Aye,
It was Maeda. I would say Maeda is they're probably best player by a distance. It was him. We've got the best player. We've got the best team squad, and we've just capitulated through. Nanius can explain it. Only the players. No.
Oh no, I don't know. Get the best squad, mate. I don't know. I think your squad's pretty threadbare. Southside.
Out the 3, we've got the best squad. I think injuries have probably hampered us, Josh, to a point, because Romans has been out, Naderi's been out, and it's been a difference to our starting 11. Mikey Moore's been carrying an injury and struggling. I think we probably need them off it. But listen, out of season, you get judged on your results and where you finish. And sometimes it's down to luck. Sometimes you can play well, and you can say, like you said earlier, one of the goalkeepers has one of the days, and you just kind of get the ball in the net. But you play well. But at the end of the day, you're judged on results. And in certain games, these players, like you say, we've talked about it all season, they've no fired on. Listen, this isn't nothing new for Rangers squads. There's loads of managers where we've had in the past where the team have played 45 minutes here or there, or no turned up for the first half and all that. It's been a thing for the last wee while at Rangers. Even Gerrard had it. We weren't always creating 90 minutes under Stevie G at times, and we were successful eventually under him. But it's just frustration. You know, there's players in there that are decent. I think injuries haven't helped, and I think once or twice we've been a bit outfoxed by, I think the Maroon manager at Ibrox looked at the way we might have lined up and played, and I think he got players running around the outsides and in the box. He stretched the game, and he had a tactic, and maybe that's how it worked. But second half, we tweaked it, and we could have been away with a victory. And then you get sucker punched at the end. So, listen, Josh, it's where we are. Have we got the best squad? The league table normally doesn't lie, mate, when it comes to the end of the season. But we've got some no bad players, but they've just not all played consistently. We've got a bit of inexperience in our squad as well. And listen, we're back to the summer again, where we're going to have to add to the squad. But I think Romans, Chukwani and Nadiri, I think going forward, strengthened us in January. We looked to buy players. We needed certain positions filled, and we certainly got some of them done. And we need to look for that type of quality and up it and have more competition. People are fighting for the get in the team, and if somebody comes out, somebody's busting to get in and can come in and make a difference. All managers have favourites. Bezrami's fell out the picture. He's gone to the World Cup with Albania, but he's not featured in many squads under Danny Rowe. Don't know why, but it's just the way the squad's built, and he trusts more players than others, obviously, and he's one of the casualties. Connor Barron and Souttar's been the same. They've fell out the picture, bit part player here and there, and it's the manager's choice. Cornelius, since he's come back from injury, and he's gone to the World Cup, he's fell away. He's not had many chances either. Managers have favourites. They trust players. Maybe some are up level of fitness, and he's counting on them and trusts them more than others. He put Nadiri in when it was one of his signings, but Majovski scored more goals now, and he might have been annoyed that he wasn't getting in the team. But it's up to the manager. The manager lives and dies by results, as well as the players live and die by performance. But we judge week in, week out. So it'll be what it'll be, and it is what it is. But at this end of this season, we need to make sure that we've got a decent squad to start next season, and they've got to be the right type of players, and that'll be down to Kavanagh. And if he trusts Danny Rowe and Danny Rowe's in there, then we need to get behind them. No point starting again next season with negativity. And if we end up with a new manager in there, then we have to back him. But it'll be back to the usual. We'll see how long he gets to people turn on him if the results don't go the right way. Sometimes you need to stick by what you've got and try and hope that you can build on it.
All right, we've reached that time of reading. Last word for your good self, Josh.
Just thanks very much for having me on, chatting with the lads, Bridgeman and Southside. Enjoyed it tonight, discussing all things Rangers.
Cheers,
Here's
mate.
hoping.
Enjoy your ball game tomorrow night, mate, yeah?
Aye, thanks very much. Cheers, lads.
Southside.
Aye, just like to thank all the troops that have been on the YouTube feed tonight. There's been quite a lot in there. So I hope you've enjoyed the show. And we're all hurting and it's sore, but listen, we've got to soldier on and get on with it. So for everybody that's gone on Sunday, I know everybody doesn't follow instruction, but I'll be wearing black on Sunday, getting up here, and it's been
You still get
it's
that
been
roll neck, mate? You still get that black roll
oh
neck?
aye, it's definitely aye.
That was a classic,
Aye,
mate. That
I know.
I think it suited you. Broke your eyes out.
I know it does, but when we get up there on Sunday, certainly get the black gear on, and we'll go up there and cheer the team loud and proud as always. And hopefully we'll come back with the 3 points. It's been good to be on the bridge the night, man. It's a legend, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And you're a good self, buddy. So thanks for having us on.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. I know you've been busy, mate, but we've missed you. We've missed you. Your views on the game, everybody sees it just slightly different, huh?
Aye, because listen, we're all passionate, we all want to win, and some you see things slightly different. Some have got more patience than others, but at the end of the day, the one thing that we all want is Rangers back winning, and however we find it. And listen, it's all about opinions, isn't it?
Yeah. Bridgeman.
Oh, what can I say, Oxter? Marvellous night. Thoroughly enjoyed the discussions. Great to listen to the Southside Bear, and of course, Josh, the big techie boys in the background looking it up. Josh, just to say, you brought memories back when we started talking about City Ground. I lived down in Nottingham for 7 years, man, and I was running about the time of the great Clough era, and I went to see them on weekends, Nottingham Forest. Brilliant. That's when I went double, 2 European championships. Fantastic. So just big shout out to you for that. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in here tonight, I broke my heart over this Rangers team. I really did. And I do hope we're going to go on and get some points and do it. But I've got a big fear. So everybody, please keep it going for the Rangers. Get the players back up again for this big game of the weekend. That's what we need. A good victory against them. Everybody, keep it going for the Rangers. Please, keep it going.
Yeah. Thanks to Josh for joining us, of course, Bridge and Southside for doing the show. Boxing all school blue in the background. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away. The one and only old school blue.